Chalk paint is like the glitter of the cup world. Does that make any sense? Does that make sense? Hello, happy glitter family. I'm back today with a very special tutorial. Yes. Long before I was a crazy cup lady, I repurposed furniture. I used to get my creative kicks on a much larger scale. My favorite thing to do was get up on a Friday or Saturday morning and go junking. It still is. And find these rare treasures that you just can't find in stores anymore, bring them back home and give them a facelift. For years, I painted furniture. I taught myself. My clients would bring me pieces and say, Nicole, what can I do with this piece? It's my mother's piece and I just don't have the heart to get rid of it, but it's so ugly. And so I would say, oh, no. Paint, chalk paint, a good reupholster job, fresh hardware. Those are things you can do to give a piece a nice facelift. None of my furniture in my house is brand new. Well, I'll take that back. Actually, the only thing that's brand new is a couch because I don't know how to make a couch. So 99% of the pieces that are in my house have been either handed down to me, Craigslist finds, or I found on the side of the road. If you've ever wondered how to paint furniture, today is the day. We're gonna have a great time, it's gonna be fun, and you're gonna have a new piece of furniture. You're gonna love it. Hang with me. The supply list that you're gonna need: chalk paint, paintbrush. I always choose a pure boar bristle brush because I like a lot of texture. So when you want to distress it, or when you want to pull that paint off, or when you want to look at a piece of hat, it looks like it's got thick layers of aged paint on it. That's what the pure bristle brush is going to give you. Surline pour spout lid. This is optional. I don't like leaving my paint lids on after I've taken them off because the chalk paint sometimes gets crusty, and then you get crusties in the paint, and then you got lumpy paint, or it rusts sometimes. So I just go ahead, I pop that top off and I give it a nice toss, and I put on a reusable Surline pour spout. No mess, no fuss, no muss. Stir stick, baby wipes, paper plate or bowl. You never want to paint directly from the paint can onto your piece. You don't know what's in your paintbrush. There could always be some residue left behind. You want to pour your paint out and work from a separate container. Wax brush, and last but not least, grab yourself an airtight Ziploc bag. This is going to be great for when you want to step away from your project, when you want to go take a bathroom break, when you need your piece to dry. You don't want to keep washing your brush over and over and over, and you definitely don't want your brush to dry out on you. So what you do is you just drop it in there, zip it up, walk away, come back, oh, brand new brush. Let's get started. First things first, take your paint can, flip it on its head. The reason I say to flip your can over is because chalk paint is just that. It's a mineral-based paint, and it's heavy, and it will compact down at the bottom of your can. While all that sediment falls, go ahead and wipe your piece down. I don't sand. I'm just gonna give it a nice little pass over with a baby wipe. Take off the dust. You don't wanna paint a piece with dust on it. I will not sand a piece. That is just pure agony. I'm not gonna sand a piece. I wanna jump right in, and I wanna get to the end result, and I wanna be happy, and I wanna be fabulous. That's what I want. So that's why I love chalk paint. Once you've done that, go ahead, pop the lid off of your paint, give it a nice stir. You want a nice consistent thickness to your paint. You don't want to see any lumps. You don't want to see any loose watery pieces. No, because then you're going to have spots where you're going to have really thick, globby, mud-like paint in one area, and then you're going to have like water, translucent paint in the other area. No, just keep stirring. Just keep stirring. Pick it up, look at it, let it fall, keep stirring. I never take off my hardware when I'm painting a piece. If I'm changing the hardware out, that's a different thing, but I'm not gonna take off the hardware. I cannot tell you how many times I've taken off the hardware and the thing falls apart, or it breaks, or the screw is stripped, or I put them back on exactly the way I took them off and the door doesn't close, or something always happens. So I said, you know what, forget it. I'm not taking off any more of this hardware. If I like the hardware's staying, and I'm painting over the hardware. It's okay to paint over it. It's gonna look great, trust me. Pour the paint out, grab your brush, let's get painting. Pick a spot anywhere. You don't have to start in stages. You don't have to start in sections. Chalk paint is so forgiving. You could just paint wherever. If it dries, you can paint over it. It's not like latex paint. You could just stab it and just start painting. Okay, once you're done with your first coat and you got your entire piece covered just the way you want it, pop your brush in the Ziploc bag and let it dry. When you're ready to come back, go ahead, paintbrush, get it ready, repeat the steps, pour the paint out, start painting. Just start painting. Just paint. It's so relaxing. Just paint. Just paint. All right, second coat is done. The next step is completely up to you. You can let it be the way it is now and have a solid painted piece, or if you want to add a little bit of visual texture to your piece, you can distress. I prefer a piece that is distressed, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to pulling paint away from my piece. You don't want to wait too long. The chalk paint, it adheres to the grain of your wood, and the longer you wait and the longer you let it sit there, it's going to be so hard to pull off that wood. So as soon as it dries, go ahead, grab your wipey and start taking that paint away. This is where you're really going to see your piece come to life. The visual texture, the money. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. Start working those corners in that hardware and pulling that paint off. Slowly but surely, you're gonna see that old, aged look that you love. Once you've gotten your piece exactly where you want it, it's aged, you're happy with it, you don't wanna take any more paint off, go ahead and let it sit. Let it just dry, because you've reactivated that paint. You gotta let it dry again. Once your paint has dried, go ahead and grab your clear wax and your clear wax brush. Grab an old t-shirt as well. Lightly tap your wax brush into your clear wax. You do not want to glob this stuff on. This stuff is super thick. It's going to seal your piece. You don't need a lot of it. Just a thin layer goes a long way. You work it in a circular motion. You want your paint to absorb this wax the way lotion is absorbed into your skin. After you've finished waxing your entire piece, take your old t-shirt or a thick paper towel and just give it a nice rub over and pull off any clumps of wax that have been left on, because this is going to harden. In time, your wax will harden and it's going to be hard to take off. It's time to dust. I don't like a piece to be super waxy, and your piece will be waxy for a long time because it takes time to cure. So what I always do is I dust my piece right afterwards. I'll take an antiquing dust, and this is called American Grit, and I take a synthetic bushy brush and I lightly dust my piece just to take away that waxy feel. Same concept with this as the wax. You're just going to barely touch that loose dust. It goes a long way. You don't want to glob it on there. Get all those nice nooks and crannies, hit your hardware, corners, hinges, everywhere you have waxed, you're gonna want to seal this with that dust. This is going to absorb your wax and give you a nice touchable surface so that you can move your piece back and forth while it's curing. There you have it. Next time you are rolling down that street and you see that garage sale sign, stop the car. Get out, take a gander, just look around. There's some serious treasures to be found out there. Who knows, you might find yourself a nice little end table, a dresser, a bench. Grab yourself some Annie Sloan chalk paint and just go to town. Go to town. It's that easy. Now your furniture heart can live on. You don't have to throw out your mom's rocking chair. You don't have to get rid of your grandma's stool. Just revamp it with some chalk paint. It's been real. It's been fun. We'll talk later. I'll see y'all next time. I'm really excited that you're going to go out there and you're going to paint yourself some furniture. Have an amazing day, you guys. All right. Bye. I just had a poop poop. I just had a poop poop. Nice stir. Stir a piece. Nice and stir. Just keep stirring. Nice and tan. Hello, BG. Hello, BG. You know what I like? You know what I want? Chicken fried rice and a sushi roll. Can I get a cocktail?